Day by day, our magistrates' courts hear thousands of cases. In the name of the Queen, we meet together to seek justice.
No endorsements on the driving license, sir?
It does. We appreciate that you are the only person injured in this collision. This doesn't change the fact that it was a very bad case of dangerous driving. You'll find £20, plus £2.55 new pence witnesses' expenses and £8 costs. Your license will be endorsed, and you are disqualified from driving for 3 months. Do you understand? Very well.
This way, please. Number 45, Your Worship. Richard James Carr. Richard James Carr, please. Richard James Carr, please. Richard James Carr.
Just gone 12.
Seems ages. I can't see Miss Child.
She'll be here.
There's no reply, Your Worship.
Wish we could get it over.
That's number 23 and 24. Beryl Ann Watson and Arnold Charles Watson. Beryl Ann Watson, Arnold Charles Watson, please.
We're here, Sergeant.
Yes, but where's Miss Child?
Would you come forward, please? That way. This way. Cheryl.
You're Beryl Ann Watson?
Sir.
And you are Arnold Charles Watson? Yes. You are summoned that on the 20th day of August 1971 at Low Street, Wembley, you drove a motor vehicle in a manner dangerous to the public. And you are charged with aiding and abetting your wife in doing that. Do you understand?
Yes, but you see, we...
My apologies to Your Worship. I was on my feet in another call.
I've explained the summonses to your clients.
I'm obliged.
You're both summoned for offences where you have a right to be tried by jury in a higher court, but if you wish, you may be tried by the magistrates here. Do you understand that? Yes. Where do you wish to be tried?
Well, here, I think, don't you?
Yes, we wish to be tried here.
The pleas in this case are ones of not guilty.
Thank you. Beryl Ann Watson. Just further say that on the 20th of August 1971 at Low Street, Wembley, being the holder of a provisional driving licence and not having passed the appropriate driving test, you did fail clearly to display L plates in a conspicuous manner on the front and back of the vehicle. And Arnold Charles Watson, you are summoned for aiding and abetting.
The pleas to both summonses are pleas of guilty.
Thank you. You may be seated.
If it please your worships, I appear for the prosecution in this case, and my lad in friend, Miss Charles, appears for the defendants.
Thank you, Mr. Clifford.
Your worships, the facts in this case are that at approximately 10:40 p.m. on Friday, August the 20th, a Hillman Mink saloon car, alleged to be driven by the defendant, Mrs. Beryl Watson, was seen to proceed along Low Street, Wembley, at a speed which a witness will describe as excessive for the road conditions prevailing, following which the car struck and injured a pedestrian. The car stopped immediately after the accident, and the driver and passenger, who will be identified respectively as Mrs. Watson and Mr. Watson, returned to assist the pedestrian, who was suffering from shock and bruising and was subsequently admitted to hospital. That's the case for the prosecution, your worships, and I call my first witness, Mrs. Margaret Piper.
Mrs. Margaret Piper. Mrs. Margaret Piper. Mrs. Margaret Piper, please.
Are you Mrs. Margaret Piper of 124 Station Road, Wembley?
That's me.
Your occupation?
Traffic warden.
Mrs. Piper, would you tell their worships, please, where you were at approximately 10:40 p.m. on Friday, August the 20th, and what you saw?
I will. I'd just come out of bingo, and I'm walking along the high street on my way home when I see this car. A grey Hillman Minx it was, and it's whizzing along like it's at Brands Hatch or somewhere. Well, the next thing I know, there's this accident outside the Red Lion, and it's the self-same car.
How did you know the car was a Hillman Minx?
Well, I know cars because of my job, and my husband's got a Minx anyway.
Now, did you see who was driving?
Yes, sir. That lady there.
Do you mean the defendant, Mrs. Watson?
That's the one.
Now, did you actually see the collision?
No, but I was there immediately after.
And was it Mrs. Watson you saw at the scene of the accident?
Yes, sir. She'd got out of her car and she'd come back.
Now, when you saw the car previously in Lower Street, what speed was it being driven?
Oh, I'd say that car was going 50 miles an hour, definitely. And on a night like that.
What do you mean?
Well, it had been pouring with rain and the roads were all wet. And they'd had a power cut or something. Half the lights were off.
Thank you, Mrs. Piper. Would you remain where you are, please?
Mrs. Piper, you say you clearly saw this grey Humber minx speeding?
No, I didn't.
Beg your pardon?
Hillman minx.
Oh. Oh, yes, Hillman minx. Now, you say the car was travelling at over 50 miles an hour?
That's right.
What makes you so sure of the speed?
Well, I know traffic, don't I? I did school crossing patrol before I took on as a warden.
And that qualifies you to judge the speed of a car at night on a busy road?
Well, you can tell when a car's going fast by the way it whizzes past all the others.
Wouldn't you agree that the only reliable way to judge the speed of the car would be to take a stopwatch and time it over a measured distance?
Well, I wouldn't know about that. I saw what I saw, that's all. Mrs. Watson's car was driven fast and dangerous.
Mrs. Watson's car? Are you saying that you can positively identify the driver of a car which was whizzing past you at 50 miles an hour, as you say, when half the street lights were off? Are you sure it was Mrs. Watson's car?
Well, I saw her, didn't I? I was there after the accident, too.
Well, would you describe the person, please, whom you saw at the wheel of the alleged speeding car?
Well, it was a lady, like I said, with sort of fairish hair, like she's got now.
A lady, not a man?
How do you mean?
Well, many men have long hair nowadays.
Yes, I know. Look, I saw her after the accident, definitely.
Yes, but the person you saw after the accident might not have been the same person you saw driving the car. I suggest that the car you saw speeding was, in fact, another car driven by another person.
Oh, no. It was a Hillman minx, a saloon, a grey one.
Well, the Hillman minx is a very popular car, and grey is a very common colour.
I'm sorry, dear, but I know cars, and I think I can trust my own eyes.
Thank you.
Mrs. Piper, we've heard it suggested that there were in fact two cars of identical make and colour in Lower Street, Wenley, at exactly the same time. Now, because of your work, you have considerable experience of motor traffic. Are you or are you not quite sure that the car you saw driven at speed and the car which was involved in the accident were in fact one and the same?
Yes, sir. I am sure.
And that the driver of the speeding car was the driver of the car involved in the accident?
Yes, sir. Definitely.
Thank you.
Have you any questions, sir?
No question.
You may stand down.
My next witness is Bernard Howard Day.
Bernard Howard Day. Bernard Howard Day. Bernard Howard Day.
I'd been to a meeting of Stratton Social Service Committee and was on my way home.
And whereabouts were you at this time?
I was coming up to the Fox and Goose public house on the B429.
And what did you see?
There was a grey Hillman mix just starting off and driving in the direction of Wenley.
In front of you?
Yes.
Now, did you follow this Hillman to the outskirts of Wenley?
Yes.
Did you notice anything particular about the way the car was driven?
I did. It was being driven very erratically.
In what way?
As the car approached right-hand turn on the B429, its right-hand indicator was flashing. The car slowed and pulled to the right. I turned my car to the left in order to pass. Then the signal was suddenly cancelled and the car went straight ahead.
Now, what effect did this have on your own movement?
Please. Continue.
What effect did this have on your own movements?
I had to brake, or there might have been a collision.
Was this the only instance of erratic driving?
No, indeed. On the A41 at the Havermill roundabout, the driver didn't signal at all. The car appeared to be going straight ahead. Then the left hand...
Just a little slow, please, Mr. Day.
Then the left-hand indicator came on, and the car turned left immediately across my path.
Did you note the number of the car?
I did. The number was LLA25D.
Do you wish to see this, Miss Charles?
Please. Thank you.
Were you able to see who was driving this car?
It was a woman. I was driving on dipped headlights, and I clearly saw her in profile as we approached the roundabout.
Do you recognize the driver in this court?
I do. It's the lady sitting over there.
Thank you. And did you see anything more of the Hillman Minks?
No, on the outskirts of Wenley, I turned off to make for home. Subsequently, I heard them in an accident in Lower Street, and the police were appealing for witnesses. I came forward.
Thank you, Mr. Day.
Mr. Day, is your vision good at night?
I wouldn't drive at night, but otherwise.
There is no possibility of you mistaking the number of the alleged speeding car?
There's no question of allegation, madam. I saw the car. I was driving on dipped headlights, as I said, and I clearly saw the number.
How long have you held a driving licence?
36 years.
And you've driven consistently during that time?
Consistently.
Now, in your long motoring experience, have you ever signalled your intention to make a turn and then, for some reason, had to cancel?
I expect so.
Were you breaking the law in doing this?
Not at all.
Well, if you weren't breaking the law, wouldn't this apply to Mrs. Watson also?
It's one's behaviour that counts. I look in my mirror, make sure I don't inconvenience other road users.
I suggest Mrs. Watson looked in her mirror too.
Either Mrs. Watson did not look in her mirror, she looked in it and decided to take a chance anyway. The same thing applied at the roundabout.
Were you alone in the car, or was there a passenger?
I was alone.
So there are no witnesses to what you allege you saw?
Do you doubt my word?
I ask a question.
There were no witnesses. I have described exactly what happened.
Thank you. I've no more questions.
Thank you, Mr. Day.
Mrs. Carol Bruce, please.
Mrs. Carol Bruce. Mrs. Carol Bruce. Go there. Or will it go to the action?
What religion are you? Take the testament in your right hand and read the words on the card, please.
I swear by Almighty God that the evidence I shall give in this court will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Thank you.
Are you Mrs. Carol Bruce of 5B Hawley Close, Wenley?
Yes.
Your occupation?
Housewife.
Mrs. Bruce, at about 10:40 p.m. on Friday, August the 20th, were you in Lower Street, Wenley?
Yes.
And what were you doing?
I was standing outside the Red Lion public house, waiting to cross the road.
Now, would you face the magistrates, please, and tell them exactly what happened?
I was about to cross to the 131 bus stop. There was some traffic about, but the road was clear just then. I stepped off the pavement, but as I started to cross, a car came swooping round the bend, and before I knew where I was, it had hit me and knocked me down.
Mrs. Bruce, this occurred outside the Red Lion public house. Had you just come from there?
No. My husband was on night shift. I'd been to visit my sister who lives near it.
Now, the car that hit you, can you remember anything particular about the way it was driven?
It seemed to be driven very fast.
And what gave you that impression?
The noise the engine was making. I think it's called racing. I noticed that distinctly just before I was hit.
Now, when you recovered consciousness, did anyone come up to you?
A woman.
Did she identify herself?
She said she was the driver of the car. She asked me how I was and said she was terribly sorry it had happened.
Do you recognize that woman in this court?
She's sitting there.
Now, Mrs. Bruce, after the accident, you were taken to hospital suffering shock and bruising. Was there some other injury?
In a way, yes.
Would you explain that, please, Mrs. Bruce?
At the time all this happened, I was 3 months pregnant. While I was in the hospital, I had a miscarriage. I lost the baby.
Mrs. Bruce, you said that the car's engine was racing.
Yes, very fast.
Now, did it seem to you that the car itself was travelling very fast also?
Well, yes.
Well, would you agree that a car's engine could be turning over quite quickly, but the car itself could be travelling relatively slowly?
I don't know what you mean.
Well, if a car was being driven in low gear, for instance, the engine could be turning over rapidly, but the road wheels could be revolving slowly.
I see.
Do you agree with that?
If you like.
No, it must be more than if you like, Mrs. Bruce. Would you be a little more specific, please?
Well, but I can't. All I know is when the car hit me, it seemed to be travelling fast.
Only seemed to be.
Must try to answer the questions.
Yes, only seemed to be.
Are you all right, Mrs. Bruce?
Yes, thank you.
Or would you like a glass of water?
No, thank you.
Just one or two more questions. Now, you said that the car was travelling on side lights.
That's right.
Was the street lighting functioning?
Some of the lamps were on and some were off.
Now, we've heard that the traffic was moderately heavy and that some rain had fallen.
Charles, what is the point of all this?
Your Worships, it's been stated that there'd been a partial power failure and half the street lights were off. I'm trying to establish that in difficult conditions, my client was driving carefully and responsibly. Mrs. Bruce, can you remember whether you looked to see if anything was coming before you crossed the road?
What?
Or were you perhaps preoccupied thinking about something?
You mean my mind wasn't on what I was doing? I always look before I cross.
But this time?
I always do.
Thank you. No more questions.
Now, Mrs. Bruce, you said that you were expecting a
Just
baby.
a minute. I'm this lady's husband. I don't think she should be questioned.
Wait a moment, Mr. Bruce. Are you calling Mr. Bruce as witness?
Yes.
Then I'm afraid you're not entitled to speak. Have you much more? We shall soon be finished, Mrs. Bruce.
There was just one more point. You said you were expecting a baby.
Yes, my first baby.
Yes. Now, in those circumstances, were you taking every possible care?
We'd waited long enough for one. I was almost too careful. My husband used to joke about it.
Thank you. That's all. Any questions, sir?
No.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Bruce.
Constable Richard Shaw, please.
Constable Richard Shaw. Constable Richard Shaw.
I swear by Almighty God that the evidence I shall give in this court shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. Richard Shaw, Your Worship. PC 844 attached to Wembley Station.
Constable Shaw, at approximately 10:40 p.m. on Friday, August the 20th, were you on duty near Lower Street, Wembley?
I was, sir.
Was your attention then drawn to a certain traffic incident?
It was.
Would you describe the occurrence to their worships, please?
Your Worships, at the time stated, I was on pen patrol in South Wembley and was parked in Market Street at its junction with Lower Street. As a result of what I was told by a pedestrian, I proceeded to the Red Lion public house. And saw a woman lying in the roadway, apparently dazed and suffering some injury, surrounded by a small crowd of people. A grey Hillman Minx saloon was parked nearby, and a woman identified herself to me as the owner of the vehicle and said that it was her car which had been involved in the accident. It was Mrs. Watson. I made arrangements for the injured pedestrian to be taken to the hospital, and I proceeded to take details of the occurrence from the persons involved.
What was the registration number of the Hillman Minks?
LLA 25D, sir.
And do you recognize the pedestrian in this court?
I do, sir. It is the lady in the blue coat.
Constable, did you take details of the Hillman Minks, its position and appropriate road measurements?
Yes, sir. The vehicle was parked at the roadside, slightly askew. Its side lights and tail lights were on. Lower Street at that point is 35 foot 6 inches wide. There were vehicles parked on both sides of the road, and the apparent width of these vehicles is 5 foot 9 inches, sir. I noticed that some cake mud had fallen from under the near side front wing of the Hillman, and that there were skid marks of approximately 15 feet.
And what about the road conditions?
Oh, the surface of the road was wet and greasy, and the lighting was poor.
Yes. And is there a slight bend in Lower Street at that point?
Yes, sir.
Does it in any way affect visibility?
Well, because of the parked vehicles, visibility is about 50 yards, sir.
Thank you, Constable.
You say the Hillman side lights were on, officer?
Yes, ma'am.
Was the car showing dipped headlights also?
No, ma'am, it was not.
Now, you said that some cake mud had fallen from under the front near side wing. Now, would you agree that this indicated that the pedestrian had been struck by the front near side wing?
Well, it's possible, yes.
But would this also indicate, perhaps, that the pedestrian had just stepped off the pavement?
Well, if the mud on that side had been loosely packed, a shock on any part of the front of the vehicle would have caused it to fall.
But are not the indications that the pedestrian was struck by the front near side wing?
No, ma'am, not necessarily.
Now, you said there were skid marks of some 15 feet.
That's correct.
And the car was parked at the roadside.
That is so.
Was there other traffic passing at the time?
Yes, there was a steady flow of traffic.
Well, could that traffic have obliterated any skid marks, or at least made them difficult to measure and identify?
Well, it could, had not the traffic made a detour to avoid the accident. These skid marks were still clearly visible when I measured them.
Oh, well, you would agree that a skid is not in itself evidence of dangerous driving.
That is so.
In fact, it could indicate that immediate braking action had been taken.
Well, hard braking action, yes, not necessarily immediate.
Now, one more point. When you questioned Mrs. Watson, was she wearing a hat or was she hatless?
I'm sorry, I can't remember.
Thank you.
Thank you, officer.
Your worships, that completes the case for the prosecution.
Would you go into the box, please, Mrs. Watson?
Yes. Take the testimony, you're right. Read the words from the card.
I swear by Almighty God that the evidence I shall give in this court will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Are you Beryl Ann Watson of the Laurels, Cavendish Drive, Wenley?
I am.
At your occupation?
Housewife.
Now, at about 10:40 p.m. on Friday, August the 20th, were you driving a grey Hillman Minks saloon car in an easterly direction down Lower Street, Wenley?
Yes, I was.
Was your husband a passenger?
Yes, he was.
Now, would you tell the court, please, the sequence of events after your car had entered Lower Street?
Yes. Well, I was driving in low gear because it had been raining and the road surface looked a bit treacherous. The speed was well under 30 miles an hour, I know that. And, well, after I'd passed the cinema and was approaching the Red Lion, a young woman suddenly stepped off the pavement right in front of me. There was nothing I could do. I mean, I stepped on the brakes and everything, but, well, the car was right on top of her and it hit her. There was nothing I could do.
Now, Mrs. Watson, you have said that you were driving below 30 miles an hour. Are you sure about that?
Yes, quite sure.
Now, as you approached the area by the Red Lion, was the road clear or were there people crossing?
The road was clear until Mrs. Bruce, the pedestrian stepped suddenly off the curb.
Now, do you remember if your car struck the pedestrian with the near side front wing or the offside?
The offside.
The offside? Do you know what is meant by offside? That's the right-hand side as you're sitting inside the car. The near side's on the left.
Yes, I'm sorry. Of course, it was the left mudguard.
Now, what happened after the car hit the pedestrian?
Well, I was horrified. We pulled the car into the side of the road and hurried back to help Mrs. Bruce. And then a crowd collected and there was a policeman there and Mrs. Bruce was taken to hospital.
Now, subsequently, did you go to the hospital to make inquiries about Mrs. Bruce?
Oh, yes, the same night. After all, I was responsible. I mean, my car was responsible. That is, well, they wouldn't allow us to see her, but apparently the injuries were only very superficial, it seemed. I didn't know then that she...
Did you later telephone the hospital?
Yes, the next morning. We were told that Mrs. Bruce's condition was satisfactory and that she would be leaving for home that day.
This is, of course, hearsay evidence, Your Worships. Furthermore, I must object to this line of questioning on the grounds that it's completely irrelevant.
Your Worships, what I think is especially relevant is my client's whole attitude in this matter. I wish to establish that she is not an irresponsible or inconsiderate person.
Yes, I think the evidence already given is quite sufficient, Miss Charlotte.
Mrs. Watson, at the time before the accident, now it has been given in evidence that you drove along the Stratton Road, that's the B429, towards the junction with the A41, is that right? Now, at a right-hand junction in this road, you indicated your intention of turning right.
Yes.
And then you cancelled your signal.
Yes.
Now, why did you do that?
Well, I saw some red lights and part of the road was up, so I thought it best to continue straight on.
Now, did you notice if there was other traffic behind you?
Well, there was other traffic, but it didn't seem too close. I mean, not close enough to be inconvenienced.
Did you turn directly into the path of another car?
Well, it's been said I did.
Well, what do you say?
I'm sorry, I can't really recall.
Now, the incident in Lower Street. It's been said in evidence that your car was driven dangerously and that its speed was over 50 miles an hour. Would you agree with that?
No, that's a lie. I mean, the witness, she must have been completely mistaken. I've never driven as fast as that in my life.
Now, it's also been said that at the wheel of this particular car there was a woman with fairish hair. Now, at the time of this incident, were you wearing a hat?
Yes, I was wearing a hat.
Now, do you think it's possible that your car was confused with another similar car?
Yes, it could have been. I'm afraid I didn't notice the other car. I was concentrating on my driving.
Now, one last question. Why did you decide to take driving lessons?
Well, I joined the WRBS, and they need people with cars for Meals on Wheels, so my husband said he'd teach me to drive.
Thank you. Oh, please stay where you are.
Mrs. Watson, how many driving lessons have you had?
Sorry, I don't know. Quite a lot, though.
Over what period?
5 or 6 months, I suppose.
Always with your husband?
Yes.
You were quite confident he could teach you all that you needed to know?
Yes, completely.
Are you reasonably familiar with the highway code?
Yes, I think so.
On a dry road, in a car with good brakes and tyres, what's the overall stopping distance at, say, 30 miles an hour?
I'm afraid I don't know.
Well, would you know the stopping distance on a wet and slippery road?
I'm sorry, no.
Would it be lesser or greater?
Lesser? No, of course not. Greater.
You would agree that knowledge of stopping distances is important?
Yes.
Are you aware that the subject is given prominence in the highway code?
I suppose it is, yes.
Now, you've had driving lessons over 5 or 6 months. Has your husband instructed you in the question of stopping distances?
Yes, he must have.
And, as you say, you have faith in your husband?
Yes.
Now, Lower Street. Now, you've told the court your speed was well below 30 miles an hour.
That's right.
Yes, what speed do you think was the car being driven?
Well, I should say about 26 or 27 miles an hour, perhaps less.
You're quite sure of that?
Quite sure.
Was your instrument panel illuminated?
No.
Well, I suggest that at night, with the speedometer unlit, it's impossible to tell at what speed one is driving. Wouldn't you agree? Now, this question of your car being confused with another, you implied you weren't sure about this. You said, yes, you said you were concentrating on your driving.
Yes, that's right.
Well, wouldn't you agree that concentration on one's driving should include an awareness of other vehicles?
Well, you can't be expected to notice everything when you're driving.
Oh. Would you notice people crossing the road?
Well, naturally.
Did you notice Mrs. Bruce?
Yes.
Well, if you noticed Mrs. Bruce, why didn't you stop?
Because it was too late.
Why was it too late? Was it because you hadn't noticed?
No, because Mrs. Bruce stepped immediately in front of me.
Mrs. Bruce has said otherwise.
She... I would like to make it quite clear that I had no idea what had happened to Mrs. Bruce. It must have occurred after I telephoned. I was very upset by what I heard in court this morning.
Mrs. Watson, have you lived for some time in Wenley?
Yes, all my married life.
You know Lower Street quite well.
Very well.
From the road traffic point of view, have you noticed anything particular about Lower Street?
Well, there's this slight bend in it, of course, but then drivers naturally take that into account.
Anything else? Any special traffic signs, for instance?
Oh, there's some no parking signs, if that's what you mean.
Nothing else?
No, not that I remember.
Is it not a fact that Lower Street has for years been designated an accident black spot area? And that there are prominent signs to this effect, giving each year the number of people killed and injured?
Oh, that?
Yes, that. What about that?
Well, that's one of those things that one takes for granted after a while, surely.
And it ceases to have significance.
Yes. I mean, no, of course.
Could not one take for granted other situations, for example, difficult traffic situations at the same black spot area?
Well, you see...
Could not one similarly take for granted the movements of other traffic when suddenly changing one's direction?
I did not do that.
Could you not also have taken your speed for granted? It being impossible to see the speedometer?
I was not travelling at a high speed.
Not high in terms of motorway driving, perhaps, but a safe speed in the circumstances.
Look, you must believe me. I was not travelling fast. I was not driving dangerously.
Mrs. Watson, a pedestrian was struck and injured by your car. Now, either you saw Mrs. Bruce and didn't stop, or you didn't see her until too late, in which case, why didn't you? Why, Mrs. Watson?
I don't know.
Thank you. No further questions.
Mr. Watson, please.
What religion are you?
I object to taking the oath.
Do you object to taking the oath because you have no religious belief? Or because your religion is such that it will not allow you to take it?
Oh, neither. I object to taking the oath because it's contrary to New Testament scripture. The matter is treated in Matthew chapter 5. There are references in the Old Testament also.
Well, in place of taking the oath, would you be willing to affirm?
Yes, of course.
Thank you.
Repeat the words on the card, please.
I solemnly, sincerely, and truly declare that the evidence I shall give in this court will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Are you Arnold Charles Watson of the Laurels, Cavendish Drive, Wenley?
I am.
Your occupation?
A local government officer
At approximately 10:40 p.m. on Friday, August the 20th, were you a passenger in a Hillman Minks saloon car?
I was.
Were you the owner of that car?
Yes, that is so.
Was the person driving the car your wife, Mrs. Beryl Watson?
Yes.
From what direction did you come?
From Benningham. We'd been to see our married daughter and the grandchildren.
What happened as you entered Lower Street, Wenley?
We were overtaken by several cars.
Did you notice anything in particular about one of these cars?
Yes. One was identical to mine in model, year and colour.
Did you notice anything else about it?
The car was being driven fast, well beyond the speed limit. Also, the driver seemed to be taking risks with the other traffic.
Did you catch sight of the driver?
Yes, I could see the back of his head through the rear window. I thought it was a woman at first, with longish, fair hair, but it was obvious from the manner of driving that it was a man, and a young man.
Now, was your wife driving on side lights or dipped headlights?
Side lights and dipped headlights. We switched off the headlights when we stopped.
And what was your wife's position in the road?
She was keeping well to the left.
And what speed was she travelling?
Oh, just under 30 miles an hour. Perfectly safe speed for the road conditions at the time.
Had your wife, in fact, driven competently all the way from Benningham?
Yes. I was very pleased with her driving.
Had she obeyed all the traffic signals, stopped when required at road junctions, etc.?
Yes.
Now, did she at any time inconvenience other traffic?
Not to my knowledge, no.
Now, returning to Lower Street, what happened as your car approached the Red Lion public house?
Well, a pedestrian seemed to suddenly step right in front of it.
Seemed? Could you be more definite?
Well, I can only tell what I know. You see, the moment before the actual accident, I wasn't looking straight ahead.
Well, can you recall what happened?
Yes, my wife cried out and immediately applied the foot brake. I saw then that the car was about to hit a woman. When it did hit her, the wheels locked on the greasy road surface, the car skidded and then came to a stop.
In your opinion, would it have been possible for your wife to have avoided an accident?
She did everything possible in the circumstances. There was little she could do. The accident was forced on her.
Thank you.
Mr. Watson, you said that in Lower Street you saw another car similar to your own, and that this car was speeding.
Yes, that is so.
Did you take the car's number?
No, it's not my practice.
Now, you've also said that from the way the car was driven, it was obvious the driver was a young man. Now, why did you assume that?
Well, the car was being driven aggressively. There is often a very aggressive, competitive spirit in motoring nowadays. I usually find that the drivers are young men.
On the evening of August the 20th, were you acting as driving instructor to your wife?
Yes, I was.
Were you aware that a driving instructor, professional or amateur, is technically in charge of the vehicle, and in law, as such, equally responsible with the driver?
I'd given no thought to it.
Are you a qualified driving instructor?
Not professionally qualified.
Nevertheless, in view of your long experience, you'd consider yourself competent to instruct others to drive?
Well, I'm competent to instruct my wife, I think.
You think?
No, I'm sure.
Yes. It's sometimes said that the wife is often unduly tensed when her husband is instructing her, and that this can interfere with her competence, especially in an emergency.
I'm sure that situation doesn't obtain in the case of my wife and myself.
You are, in short, quite competent to teach your wife driving?
In my opinion. I don't think it's an idle one.
Now, both as a motorist and as an amateur driving instructor, would you agree that the roadworthiness of the vehicle concerned is of major importance?
Oh, without question.
On the evening of August the 20th, were you quite satisfied with your car's braking ability?
I knew that the brakes were effective, yes.
Effective is a relative term, though, is it not?
Well, Mr. Gifford, are you suggesting the brakes were defective? Because if so, there should be another summons.
No, sir.
And please restrict your cross-examination to relevant matters.
During the driving lessons, did you instruct your wife in the technique of an emergency stop?
Yes, I did.
How did she respond?
Very well.
Did she synchronize brake and clutch movements?
Usually she declutched at the proper time.
Would you agree that if brake and clutch pedals were depressed together, there is a chance that the wheels would lock?
It's possible, yes.
Especially on a greasy road surface.
Yes.
And that this would impair the car's ability to stop.
When the pedestrian stepped in front of the car, my wife did all she possibly could to stop in time. And after all, she's only a learner driver.
Yes, their worships will know that in law, the inexperience of a learner driver is of no excuse. There's only one standard of good driving. Now, as your car approached the Red Lion public house, you say you were not looking at the road ahead?
No, I wasn't. It wouldn't have made any difference if I had been.
Well, why weren't you? Surely as driving instructor.
Well, I'm sorry, I don't recall.
Would you say your car was a suitable car for driving instruction?
Oh, yes, eminently suitable. It's got good visibility. It's very easy to handle.
The controls, the brakes and so on are conveniently placed?
Yes, they are.
Where's the handbrake situated?
It's mounted in the floor of the car.
To the right or to the left of the steering wheel?
To the right.
Easily reached by the driver?
Yes, of course.
How would the instructor reach it?
The instructor?
Yes. Say there was an emergency, for example, needing an immediate braking response and the pupil wasn't quick enough. How would the instructor reach a handbrake placed on the right of the driver?
If you mean the emergency under discussion, my wife did respond quickly.
Yes, we've only your evidence for that. How would you, as instructor, reach such a handbrake?
Well, I wouldn't be able to.
How then would you stop the car?
Well, one could switch off the ignition.
Would that bring about an immediate stop?
No, but of course, an instructor could turn the steering wheel and take avoiding action.
Might not that bring its own complications?
Yes, it might.
Do you then say that in a car with a handbrake placed to the right of the driver, the instructor could do nothing to bring about an immediate stop?
Yes, that is so.
Now, you've said that your car was eminently suitable for driving instruction. Do you still hold that opinion?
No, I don't. I'm afraid the point hadn't occurred to me.
And if, on the occasion in question, it so happened that Mrs. Watson did not brake when she saw the possibility of an accident, could you have stopped the car in time?
Well, I've already indicated that.
Will you answer yes or no, please?
No, I could not have stopped the car.
Thank you. I have no more questions.
No question. You may stand down.
That is my case, Your Worships. I shall not detain you very long because the issues in this case are clear. Your Worships have to be satisfied beyond all reasonable doubt that Mrs. Watson drove in a manner which was dangerous to the public, and that in doing so she was aided and abetted by her husband. The prosecution's case is that at a point some distance from the scene of the accident, she drove at a dangerously high speed. Now, the evidence here rests on the opinion of one inexpert witness, and there seems to be a very strong possibility that in this instance, the Watson's car was in fact confused with another almost identical vehicle. Now, evidence was given by another prosecution witness about alleged misleading direction indications. Your Worships, there is nothing inherently dangerous in this, and I would ask your Worships not to give too much weight to this evidence. I submit that in any event, evidence of driving 2 or 3 miles away from the main incident, the accident in Lower Street, is in fact not relevant. Mrs. Bruce, the injured pedestrian, has given us her version of the events preceding the accident. But your Worships will appreciate that victims of traffic accidents can be dazed and shocked, as was the case with Mrs. Bruce, and that frequently they cannot completely rely on their memory of events immediately before the accident. On the other hand, Mrs. Watson's evidence is quite clear. According to her, Mrs. Bruce stepped out straight in front of her car, giving her no chance whatever of stopping in time. Now, you heard Mrs. Bruce's evidence in cross-examination. Now, I don't want to labour a point or cause her unnecessary pain, but she could not, on this occasion, say that positively she did, definitely on this occasion, look before she crossed. In short, Your Worships, all we are left with is the bare fact that Mrs. Bruce was knocked down and injured by a car driven by Mrs. Watson. There were unhappy consequences to this, and Your Worships will perhaps have seen how deeply my client was affected when she heard of these. The conflict of evidence is, of course, a matter for you to resolve. But under the circumstances, I must ask Your Worships to say that it would not be safe to convict on this evidence. I accordingly ask for both summonses to be dismissed.
On a point of law, Your Worships, it's been suggested that evidence of driving 2 or 3 miles away from the main incident is not relevant in this case. It has, of course, been held that evidence of driving on a road up to 5 miles away is admissible. The authority for this being Rex v. Taylor, 1927, Criminal Appeal Report.
Bench will retire.
Court rise, please.
You anticipated that point about driving 3 miles away.
Yes, I do quite a lot of anticipating.
Excuse me, sir, if you want it.
What a one.
The shops will be shut.
It was all day because of this.
They're closing. Where she keeps
It wasn't your fault.
Doesn't make sense. You go on. You're happy. Everything's wonderful. Then suddenly...
Bloody old fools. Oh, so they are.
You didn't mean it.
Mean it or not that you did it.
Court rise.
Will you stay standing?
As there is a strong element of doubt in this case, both summonses are dismissed.
Now, there is still the matter of driving without L plates, to which your clients have pleaded guilty. Is the officer here?
Constable Shaw.
You can sit down.
Have you got anything on 35?
Yes, we've got a medical certificate on that one.
Oh, do I? Yes, 5 minutes. Do I? Yeah.
Mr. Watson said they were there when we started. Thank you, Constable. Any questions, Miss Charles?
No, thank you. Your Worships, on their return journey to Wenley, my client stopped for a short time at the Fox and Goose public house on the Stratton Road. Now, so far as they know, the L plates were there when they stopped, and my clients can only assume that they were removed by hooligans. Your Worships may wish to take this into consideration when imposing the penalties.
Thank you. Are there any previous convictions?
There's nothing known against either defendant, Your Worships.
Your driving licenses with you? No endorsement, sir.
Your Worships, Mrs. Watson is a housewife with no private means. Mr. Watson is a local government officer earning £42 a week.
Will you rise, please?
The L plates could well have been removed without your knowledge. It is still your duty in law to check. There will be a fine of £5 against each defendant, and both your licenses will be endorsed. You understand?
Yes, sir.
Very well.
Can you pay now?
Yes.
The warrant officer will show you where to pay. Stand now.
This way, please. Just bear with the 5 minutes and we'll ride with it. Cases 25 and 26 are being withdrawn. 27 next case. John Henry Dwyer. John Henry Dwyer. John Henry Dwyer, please. Step away. Go with the officer, please. Could you grab the public gallery? Will you follow me, please?
Stand down there. I'd like to sit here.
This is Mr. and Mr. Arnold Watson. That's cases 23 and 24. Will you please go in? The dangerous driving, aiding and abetting dismissed. No else, it's £5 on each count. Items to the end. Okay?